Do you want to find really cool, unique furniture items and homewares that maybe you can't find anywhere else, and you don't have a lot of money to spend, but you still want your space to feel cool and like match your aesthetic? If your answer is yes, then you need to get on Facebook Marketplace. And if you are on Facebook Marketplace already, I want to give you some tips and tricks of ways that you can enhance the app and how to get the most out of it so that you are finding the pieces that you genuinely want for the space. Coming across pieces that you didn't even know that you needed, things that are going to spark your creativity and inspire your interiors. So welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and you can even turn on notifications because I upload videos every week. And as I said in my last video, I'm now also uploading vlogs because I like to mix it up. I like a bit of this, bit of that. So let's get into the video for today, which is how to get the most out of Facebook Marketplace so that you can find the pieces that you genuinely want for your space. So the first tip is refining your algorithm. So like any social media app, like Instagram or TikTok, you need to tell the app what you're interested in and what you want to see. One way to do this is to start liking and saving items that you see on Facebook Marketplace, whether you want to buy them or not. But if it fits the aesthetic of what you're looking to purchase, it's going to start telling Facebook, okay, this is the style of item that they want to see. I'm going to find more listings like this so that I can start to refine what I'm showing the person that is scrolling through the feed. On the flip side of this, I want to encourage you to not click on listings that don't really align with what you're looking for. I know that can kind of be easier said than done. Like sometimes you might just see something random and you want to click on it. But every time that you do that, you're kind of confusing the app, confusing the algorithm. They're not really sure what it is that you want to see. You're kind of sending mixed signals. So one way to avoid doing this is every time you see something pop up that doesn't align with what you're looking for, or you know is not really something you're ever going to want to purchase, you can click on the listing and then on the three dots on the right hand side, select hide this listing. And this will tell Facebook Marketplace to not really show things like this anymore, to try and refine the things that you're seeing that you actually like. Next is to do intentional searches. So again, being able to get the most out of the algorithm, the most out of the app, you want to be searching intentionally and using specific keywords so that again, you're basically teaching the algorithm what it is that you're looking for. So let's say you're looking specifically for mid-century modern dining chairs. Search that, see what comes up, and even if there's not an item there that piques your interest, you're again reiterating to the app, to the algorithm, that this is what you're looking for. And anytime someone uploads a new listing, it's going to basically put that in front of you, and it's going to refine and continue to refine until you find that hell yeah piece that you want for your space. Okay, this is a little bonus tip that I think a lot of people don't actually think to do, or maybe don't know how to do. Like, to be honest, when I started using Facebook Marketplace, I didn't really make the most of all the features. I was kind of just like, I don't use that much. I just need to find one thing. I don't really want to like have all the bells and whistles that go with it. So one thing you can do is if you find an item that you really like, what I suggest you do is follow the seller. So basically there are different types of people on Facebook Marketplace. There are people that are just like selling off one-off things. You know, they might be moving and they just need to get rid of some stuff. But there are also people on there who upload regularly, and it's almost like a side hustle or a business for them to sell items. So if you find pieces that you really like, follow the seller, and you can actually go and look at all their other listings and get an idea of the pieces that they're selling and their aesthetic. So this takes me to my second point, which is to set alerts and have notifications on for new listings. So if you've used Facebook Marketplace before, you know that this app moves hella fast. Like you could be, like someone could upload something within like an hour, you message them an hour later, and by the time they get back to you, it's gone. So you've got to be ahead of the curve. You've got to be ready for when something pops up, you need to be the first one in there. So I encourage you to turn on alerts for new listings so that you can get your foot in the door and be the first person to interact with the seller so that you have the best chance of getting the item. The easiest way to do that is to go onto the Facebook Marketplace app, to go to the search bar, type in what it is you're looking for. Let's say you're looking for marble dining table. So then you go and click save search. And once you do that, it registers that you want to save this with Facebook Marketplace. You go and turn your notifications on for your new listing alerts. And then the next time something under this description pops up, you'll be the first to know. So this is honestly a game changer because I feel like I feel like a lot of people maybe don't know about this feature, and this is the difference between you being the first to see it or seeing it an hour later when it's already sold to someone else who was smart enough to have their alerts turned on. So please go and do that, because I want you guys to find all the best stuff, because I know it's out there and you just need the strategies that you can put in place so you can get them. So my third tip when it comes to searching items on Facebook Marketplace is to use the filters. Again, like I said before, I didn't really use the filters at all when I first started using Facebook Marketplace, because I was just like, CBF. But using the filters is really going to help you refine what you're searching for, and also it's going to mean that you're not going to come across things that you're going to fall in love with that maybe is out of your budget or out of your location range. So if you go into the filters, you can set your location and how far out, like how big the radius is that you want to search for items. Because trust me, I've done it before where I've set the radius to like 400 kilometers, which, you know, when I was living in Sydney, that's like takes you to the middle of nowhere. And then I would randomly see something, I was like, oh my God, I have to have this. And of course, it was too far away. So set your location, and I guess just make an estimate about how far out you're willing to search, whether you're going to pick up the pieces yourself or if you're going to hire someone to do it, like an Airtasker. Another important filter that I would say to look at is the price. So let's say that you're looking for secondhand artwork and you only want to pay $200. Put the price in for $200 or maybe $250, a little bit higher than what you're willing to pay, because there's always room for negotiation. So when you do this, you know that everything that you're going to be seeing that comes up on the feed is going to be within your price range, and then you won't come across something that's going to break your heart, because it's happened too often. So that was like one of the first things I would do when you get on Facebook Marketplace, is just to set up your filters so you know what you're getting. Tip number 4 is about negotiating, how to haggle, how to bargain, how to score a bargain, how to get the best price for the pieces that you're looking to buy. So we all know that on Facebook Marketplace, there are people who set items at a really high price expecting that people are going to buy it. But the reality is, majority of people that are on Facebook Marketplace are on a budget and are looking to haggle that shit down so that they can get the best price possible. So if you're looking to buy an item and maybe it's priced a little bit higher than you're wanting to pay, the first thing is, when you reach out to the seller, let's be respectful. Let's not send them some shitty lowball offer that is immediately going to piss them off, because I know that's happened to me before, where I'm selling things and people send me like an offer that's more than half, like 50% off discount, and it just pisses me off, because it's like, well, no, I'm obviously not going to sell it to you for that. So when you are looking to get a lower price, I would say never go lower than maybe like 25 to 30% of the asking price, because the likelihood is, unless you've got a pretty easy seller, they're not going to go for it. Secondly, if you're going to put an offer in for a piece, I always find that it helps if you say, hey, love this piece, looking to pay XYZ for it. So let's say they're asking $250 for it and you only want to spend $200. You might say, hey, I really love this armchair. Would you be open to accepting $200? I can come and pick it up today, or I can come and pick it up tomorrow morning. So I always find that when you tell sellers that you can come sooner rather than later, they're more likely to trust that you're invested in the piece and that you're going to show up and get it, and they're going to get the cash in the pocket today or tomorrow. So I always find that, like, if you're saying, oh, I can come this weekend or maybe next weekend, or if you're a bit vague with when you're going to be showing up, generally I would say they're probably going to give the piece to someone else who can get there sooner. Another thing is, if let's say you're following someone who's selling stuff that you really like, and maybe there's 2 items that you want to purchase, maybe you can say to them, interested in these 2 items, would you be willing to do like a bundle price to knock some cash off the overall asking price of both pieces? When you do this, you're both kind of winning. You know, you're getting some money knocked off the price, they're getting 2 items sold, they're getting money in the bank, money in their pocket, and it's a win-win. So it's not always the case that someone is selling 2 things that you want, but if they are, always ask for a bundle price, because at the same time, you're doing them a favor, you're giving them money, you're taking an item off their hands. So if you don't ask, you don't get. And lastly, when it comes to purchasing items on Facebook Marketplace, don't sleep on it. Don't think about it too long, because as I said, Facebook moves fast, and once it's gone, it's gone. There have been times, I remember recently, I saw this amazing bookshelf. It was like this solid wood bookshelf, and it was like open shelving and a really interesting design. and I waited too long to message the seller, and by the time I did, he was like, sorry, sold it this morning. So if I had just messaged a little bit earlier, if I hadn't slept on it and just went straight for it, I probably would have that right now. So that's a lesson learned. Life teaches you the hard way sometimes. Okay, and then the last thing I want to talk about is avoiding scams on Facebook Marketplace. Unfortunately, just with the way things are going, there are a lot of scams that pop up on pretty much every website now, and I know a few people who have unfortunately been scammed. One of those people being my sister, because I mean, she's not that savvy, but also she's not on Facebook Marketplace that much. But there are certain things you can look out for so that you know you're not going to get scammed. So the first one being, if someone asks you to pay a deposit or to pay like 50% upfront before you pick up the piece, I often just say, sorry, it's not going to happen, because there's no real way to track people on Facebook Marketplace. Like, you could just send them the money and there's no like proof or I guess refunding system to say that you've done that. It's a real kind of like no middleman kind of app. So if someone's asking you to pay 50% or the full amount or any amount before you go and get the item, I would just leave it. There was a coffee machine that I was looking to buy recently, and the guy was being a little bit too forward. He was like knocking, you know, like $2,000 off the price, which is not really heard of. Like, I feel like that's a big jump from whatever the original price was that he was asking. But it also said pick up in this suburb. So one thing you can do is look up where the suburb is and see if it looks legit. He was saying, oh, I live in an apartment block in this suburb, blah, blah, blah. The apartment block did not exist. When I looked up the address, it was in the middle of nowhere. It was like 10 hours out of Sydney. There was nothing there. My spidey senses were going off and I knew it was a scam. So when people are being overly lenient or overly accessible or dropping the price excessively, sometimes you can get a sixth sense. Just trust your intuition and know that it's probably too good to be true. And the last thing I'm going to say about scams is make sure you keep all of your communication on Facebook Marketplace. I find that when you start to message people outside of Facebook Marketplace, there's no real paper trail. So just keep everything in Messenger. Don't give out your personal details unless you have to. Like, if you're selling something, don't give your address until like an hour before they need to be there. Don't give out your phone number if you really don't want to. Like, everything should be carried out through the app. And I also find that a good thing to do is to pay through like bank account or PayPal if you can, just because again, it's like a paper trail as opposed to doing cash. And I know a lot of people on Facebook Marketplace prefer cash for whatever reason, but if you can do a bank transfer or pay online in some way, I think that's always probably a safer bet. So those are just some of my top tips for finding great pieces on Facebook Marketplace. Obviously there's a lot more that you can still do with the app, but basically I would just say you need to be consistent on Facebook Marketplace. It's really the only way that you're going to start to see things that you really love and that you want to have in your home. Like, you need to be using it honestly at least once a day, because the more you use it, it's basically just catering and refining everything. So it's like your personal smorgasbord of items for you to purchase. Consistency is key with the app. You know, be street smart and kind of try to avoid scams where you can. And the more you use it, I promise you, you're going to find so much good stuff you didn't even know that you needed. It is, it's a goldmine when you want it to be. So I hope that was helpful. If it was, please subscribe to my channel because I upload videos every week. It's fun talking about this with you guys. If you have found some gems, comment down below. I would love to know what pieces you guys have found. I am currently scouring to find stuff for my apartment, which I haven't yet found, but I'm slowly collecting pieces that I want to have in my space. But I don't want to go overboard because I want to just wait till I'm in the space so I know kind of what aesthetic and style I want to go with. But yeah, good luck, happy hunting, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.